Aikido, a Japanese martial art focused on harmonizing with an attacker's movements and redirecting their force rather than directly opposing it. Conversation, a dialogue between two people. Conversational Aikido, that's what I want to talk about on today's episode of Almost Zen. Let's walk and talk about it. So, I was walking down a sidewalk this morning, not unlike this sidewalk. Might even be this sidewalk, but it wasn't this sidewalk. And I had a receipt in my hand and I was just checking it, stopping, checking it. Someone else is coming up the walkway here like this guy, but directly on my side. And she was looking straight down at the phone as we want to do in this day and age. And I kept glancing up at the receipt, back up at her, thinking, all right, well, she's picking up speed too. And she don't look like she's getting out of the way, but I'm sure she will. I'm focused up and down. Even though I'm standing still, I'm focused up and down. Making sure nothing's happening. No bird's going to hit me in the face like that old video with Fabio on the roller coaster. I don't want that stuff to happen. I'll end up being a meme or something. I don't want that. Who wants that? So, but then she starts barreling closer, and then I look up, and she's just about to hit me, and then darts just out of the way. But I didn't move, man. It's like, and then a little snarly look on her part. Like, now I'm 90% looking down at the receipt, just glancing up, make sure I'm not moving. No conflict, no argument ensuing, though it could have. It could have. Started thinking, if that had, because this is what I do. I'm walking, I'm sitting there, what if, It's one thing I got to work on to be more Zen. Stop thinking about what would have happened, what could have happened, what should have happened. So I started thinking, man, that lady's facial expression said that if she had bumped into me even slightly and she would have somehow made it like it's my fault. She would have been like, gosh, I'm just walking, like, why don't you watch what you're doing while I'm standing still? And an argument could have ensued, and I thought with lesser men, mere mortals, lesser men or women, that might have turned into an argument if that happened. I'd like to think in my old age, as I get up there, I'll be 77 in a few short weeks, that I wouldn't have flew off the handle. But who's in the wrong there? It'd have to be the person moving, not looking. I thought if it turned into an argument, the person who's right, a lot of times will just argue and not say, kind of deflect it like an Aikido move, right? So I started thinking about, speaking of martial arts, there used to be a martial arts place here. Where was it? Maybe it was where that body work is there. It's obviously a rub and tug. Oh no, there it is. Go For It Martial Arts. Right in front of that truck there. Started thinking about it. Anyway, back to the story. So, nothing happened, but you could see how the person sitting with the receipt not moving might have just challenged that if the person got mad and started fighting back at it. It just makes it worse because that person obviously knows they were wrong and they're mad that it happened, or they're also, of the generation where everything is someone else's fault, or they're deserving of some apology even though they're the ones who did something wrong, and how could they do anything wrong? But you can easily, instead of doing a karate move on them and chopping them down a few sizes, you could, and then it's saying, what's wrong with you? No, you're wrong. Whatever it is to throw conflict back, which isn't going to help the whole thing. You could do an Aikido move and gently redirect their attack, their verbal attack, and say, oh yeah, I've done that before, no worries. I just what happens to us, you just go and something's catching your eye on the phone and oops. So with that one, You can make them feel like you understand what happened. They can't usually get mad then because they're like, oh, this person's, they do it too. And they're like making it like it's not that big a deal. It's very lighthearted. Oh, I get it. Been there, done that. That's one example. I have many, but I'm not going to tell you all those. That's in the, that's in my, my newsletter. And my, I think you have to go to one of my seminars for that. But you get the idea, right? Conversational aikido. Well, anytime we have an opportunity, we can be kind of soft and say, hey, there's going to be something here. Let me redirect this into something that's not going to blow up into something worse where there could be a physical altercation. Who wants that, you know? Even if the person that does want that attack, because a lot of people, when they're in that mode and they did something wrong and they still want to get into it with someone, they want that fight. But do they? Because if you deflect it off with a statement that kind of almost like you're in agreement with them, or you understand what they're doing and you understand that happens, you soften the blow, you soften their mental state of mind. Conversational aikido, man. That's what they should have in these strip malls. Conversational aikido classes. Especially in the day of the internet, we've completely lost our conversational way and a way to handle conflicts. That sucks. Really sucks, man. So where did we leave off? I don't know. It's my second walk. It's like 8:35 in the morning. I've already done like 4 miles, so my brain's a little razzled. Not too bad out today. But conversational aikido, it's a good thing to use to be in the moment and stay calm on my path to Zen. Like, hey, before any conflict, take a breath. It's hard to do that right in the moment too, you know. You want to react. This lady just bumped into me. And then you just make it worse by, you know, saying, what are you doing, you dummy? You know, whatever you're going to say. And then that's when you end up on World Star Hip Hop or whatever that is. One of those videos. So it is like a Zen, an art to that, calming down in the moment, being able to keep your head about you, but more importantly, being able to deflect it too. I mean, this is a moment where silence might not work, you know, you just ignore them. They think like, this guy just doesn't even answer. Find a way to find calm in the moment enough, and enough state of mind and clarity to be able to gently deflect that incoming attack that a lot of people are just tensed up because of the twitch movements of their phone all the time. They're ready to go. You know, they're like that lady, a little facial expression was, I was like, man, dude, I'm not just standing here. Like you're barreling down the road, not even looking up. So it happens in cars too. You see the people, they'll get mad and they're the ones, you know, doing the wrong sometimes, not all the time. So with that being said, let's wrap this up with a little first person scenery. Not for my face, right? All right, I have to step in here real quick because I know a lot of you are thinking, Tommy, what if it's like someone you can't reason with? Say some person's drunk or something, or they're just angry, or it's if it's a girl, it's some crazy feminist or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of scenarios. But at that point, you're gonna have to go to Plan Z because I get it. Like, how are you gonna, with some big muscle-bound guy who's really mad, how are you gonna gently redirect that energy when he's just gonna want to gently redirect your spleen into your kidneys? So I get it. So you can't do it there. So say this guy bumps into you coming out of the gym and he's furious. He's gonna rip your head off. Yeah, you have to go to Plan Z. And basically what you're gonna do there is you're gonna abort all that other stuff, the Aikido conversational tactic, and you're just going to basically say, listen, sorry, I was not, standing here with my back to you and you elbowed me in the head and banged the door into my back. How crazy of me to do that. But I only have 2 weeks to live, and I was a former bodybuilder, and I just wanted to come here and watch people banging the weights around one last time before I checked off. I know it's cheap, but you have to do it. Now you're saying, what about if it's a girl? All right, well, same thing. Just say your girl comes out and she's furious, and you get into they bang into you, and you say, listen, ma'am, I'm sorry. I know, I shouldn't have been sitting here on the curb with my back to you and have my back go into your knee like that and knock the phone out of my hand, but I've been really out of my head recently. My 2 rescue puppies had to be put down, and I was just here on my phone setting up a protest outside of a slaughterhouse. And I'm sorry, ma'am, I was out of my mind. So those are 2 things you can do when there's no reasoning with them. You can abort it, and only in those instances where there's no other option do you go to plan Z. But otherwise, plan A, conversational aikido, you get it. Back to the video. So in summation, I made a 10-minute video. I said the same thing like 17 times. But the thing is, that's the thing with me in these videos, man. I'm not here to write a script. I was watching one video, and a guy was like, I'm going to teach you how to make YouTube videos. It popped up on my feed. I'm not searching for this stuff. And he's like, you see how it looks like I'm looking right at you? I have my script, my teleprompter right here. That's a great tip for you YouTubers. Just get a teleprompter. You want people to write a script and a teleprompter? Man, no, this is the real deal Holyfield, what I'm doing. You want people to buy a teleprompter? Here's my tip to start a YouTube channel. Turn on your phone, record, stop it. You don't need to edit it. You don't need to do any of that. So, in summation, as I got a little sidetracked there, why fight when we can have a little calm? So at the basis of Aikido is the gentle maneuvering of an oncomer's attack into something, where you didn't hurt them, you didn't get hurt, and it was gentle. And I suggest using one in those situations where you kind of take the hit like you've done it too, and you laugh. Laughing's always a good deflector, man. Depending on the type of laugh. Someone could be like, oh, man, I think, I think that was a good idea, right? To hold off, right? And not go there till 10, and you go, yeah. That's the laugh where it's like, you're just basically laughing at them. But generally, the kind of laugh. And, if you're telling them, hey, man, I get it. It's hard for them. And then some people will still push past that and be kind of jerky. But, you could do your part. Gently guide them away. If they keep coming at you, gently guide them away again. Now, 3 times and they're out. Then you just punch them in the face if they do it. If you gently swat them away 3 times and they keep coming back, you just punch them in the face more than once, like about 4 or 5 times. So, that's it, guys. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm Tommy. This is Almost Zen TV. Just a guy trying to find some Zen. I heard he was last seen in Queens, New York, so here I am.